So let me continue what I was just saying about this. There's a specific recipe, so let's take a look at this recipe. This recipe says there's 1 carbon for every 1 O2. And so I need 1 carbon and 1 O2. If I have 1 carbon and 1 O2, I can make 1 CO2. But what if I gave you 3 carbons and 2 O2s? If I gave you 3 carbons and 2 O2s, how many CO2s can I make? I can make 2, right? I can make, well, why can't I make 3? If I have 3 carbons, why can't I make 3 CO2s? Because it's, for every carbon, I can make 1 CO2. So this is it. If I can make 3 CO2s from 3 carbons, it's a 1-to-1 ratio, and I can make 2 CO2s from 2 O2s, can't I make 5 CO2s? I just add them up. I get 3 CO2s, from the carbon and 2 CO2s from the O2. That gives me 5 CO2s. Does that make any sense? No. And so this would be saying the same thing. If you have a cake mix, and the cake mix requires 1 cup of water, and you have 1 cup of water and 1 package of cake mix, can you make 2 cakes? No, because you need both ingredients, right, to make the cake. And so the same thing here, we need both ingredients. And so same type of situation happens here. Do we have enough methane? Do we have enough air? If we have just the right amount, you know, would be following the recipe. If we had just the right amount, we call it a stoichiometric mixture. And so if we have stoichiometric quantities, then we have just the right amount of air to combust with the methane. But do we? You know, we might not have enough air, or we might not have enough methane. And so that can screw things up. And so this problem is exactly the same as this, but I don't know which one there's more of. And in fact, in chemistry, this is a very common thing, because to get things exactly stoichiometric, we have to measure them out to the molecule. Because we're, you know, if we don't get it right on the number of molecules or atoms in this case, then one of these will be what we call excess. The other we won't have enough of. Since we never measure things out that precisely and that accurately, you know, chemistry always turns out to be this scenario where we have too much of one and not enough of the other. And so, do you know which one we have too much of and which one we don't have enough of? And how much can I get? How much CO2 can I get from this mixture?